Santa Clara woke up different. There's a quiet move on offense, a starter being publicly challenged, a decision at the heart of the huddle, and a reinforcement that already changed the fourth quarter. Nothing was handed over. There's an offer that could become a bargain, a tactical tweak to hide a weakness, and a maturity test for young pieces. Today, the bar rises and could shake the season. Which of these stories will ignite the fan base first? You won't believe what we've got today. So take a seat, drop a like, and let's go straight to the news. Stay to the end, because nothing is obvious. When the fall of a giant redraws the map, opportunists win. A severe foot injury to a superstar QB rattled the AFC balance, created surplus at a specific position, and lit a warning in Santa Clara. There's a target with a turbulent off-field past, but tape that screams explosion and big plays. The question is whether it's worth paying little for sky-high upside precisely when the receiver rotation needs fresh gas. And if the door is cracked open, who's brave enough to push it first? You won't believe what popped up. So sit tight, hit like, and let's jump straight into the news. In a sequence of events that began outside our backyard, an AFC rival's offense lost its maestro, and with Jake Browning taking over, the front office may pivot to 2026, stockpiling picks and moving on from luxury pieces. That's where Santa Clara's red gains traction, with Debo shipped to Washington, Brandon Ayuk nursing an injury, and Ricky Pearsall rising fast. The 49ers need to add a vertical threat without tying up the cap. Today, the room has Jawan Jennings as the trusted reference point. Bets like Kendrick Bourne, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Sky Moore seeking a restart, and an extra annoyance. George Kittle is dealing with a hamstring that limits heavy packages. The ideal fit? A young, cheap, electric receiver who forces defenses to respect the deep third and restores space for the play-action concepts Shanahan loves. And right as the AFC rethinks priorities, there's a chance to fish where there's surplus. Jermaine Burton enters this equation as the lottery ticket with solid odds. His tape flashes first-round traits, but yellow flags push the wide out into the third. In 2024, he alternated flashes and frustrations. In 2025, reports say his discipline is better, yet the preseason opened the path for Mitchell Tinsley to steal an active spot. And with Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins ahead, the line in Cincinnati is long. In Santa Clara, the picture changes. Shanahan unlocks receivers with short acceleration, crossing routes, platform changes for the QB, and deep play action. Burton offers exactly that: explosive release, separation on go, post and dig, ball tracking over the top, and enough yards after catch to punish bad angles. In 11-12 personnel, you can line him up as the Z in motion, jet, orbit clearouts, stretching the field and freeing Jennings slants and Pearsall's overs. With defenses packing the box to slow the run game, the mere presence of a speed threat changes the math. The cost-benefit is the seduction. A conditional day 3 pick, protected by snap rate and production thresholds plus the rookie salary, delivers upside with contained risk. If it clicks, the 49ers gain explosion on January shot plays and the versatility to mask Ayuk's absence until he's 100%. If not, the draft capital hit is minimal and compensatory calculus helps rebalance. Locker room? San Francisco's culture is unforgiving. Trent Williams, Fred Warner, and Kittle set the standard and shield the group. If you don't keep up, you don't play. That reduces the fear of off-field noise becoming an on-field problem. And the fan base half loves the idea of bolting vertical speed on, while Brock Purdy regains full mobility and Mac Jones manages the plan. The other half fears drops and wasted drives. But tactically, the equilibrium pays off. By forcing defenses to keep a safety deep, the offense reopens the intermediate, reads get cleaner, and protection breathes. It's the kind of cold, calculated phone call John Lynch loves. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. When the crowd was still celebrating the win over the Saints, a detail slipped by and became fuel for debate. A starting defensive back exposed, a coordinator defending his player, and an analysis that shakes confidence and strategy. The issue isn't just stats, it's about perception, on-field respect, and adjustments that can cost wins. And when the coach steps in front to shield his guy, that says a lot about what's being built in Santa Clara. But is a coach's word enough to calm a demanding fan base? Let's dive into this story, because it's much bigger than it looks. In the victory over the New Orleans Saints, names like Mac Jones, Mikael Williams, Bryce Huff, and D. Winters were celebrated. But amid the party, cornerback Renardo Green became a constant target for the opposing attack. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed exploited his limited straight-line speed, drawing penalties and nearly opening the scoring. Green finished allowing 4 catches on 8 targets for 70 yards. To a casual fan, that's just a bad game. For close followers, it sounds like a warning sign. When an offense designs calls specifically to test a defender, it means he's viewed as the weak link, and that can be fatal in the playoffs. Robert Saleh, however, didn't let the criticism run unchecked. At his presser, he defended Green firmly, emphasized he's only in his second year, doesn't shy from contact and resets after every snap. He highlighted something precious. Even after getting beat, the corner stays in press, aggressive, without hiding. That mindset, in Saleha's view, is worth as much as talent. And indeed, a young player can evolve faster when he doesn't crumble after mistakes. That thick skin is what the coach is betting on. For fans, the dilemma remains: buy into the growth narrative, or worry that Green lacks the speed to stick with burners. That's a structural limitation, not just experience. That's why Saleha insists on alignment and technique. If Green cleans up leverage and angles, he can mask that weakness. In the 49ers scheme, it can work because the pass rush shortens the quarterback's clock. But if pressure doesn't get home, every wrong step becomes a big play. The symbolism is striking. The franchise is 2-0, but the fan base is chasing perfection, and every flaw becomes a national debate. Green embodies that. A young talent still being molded who must prove whether he'll be a solution or a liability. Saleha is betting the learning curve will surprise. The fans still doubt, and the truth, only the next tests will reveal it. Because if the Saints already showed the map, imagine what Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are drawing up. You know those weeks that feel calm until the presser dumps a bucket of cold water. That's what happened when Kyle Shanahan took the mic and, after leaving a sliver of hope, practically nailed it down. Brock Purdy is highly unlikely to start against the Cardinals. And it's not just about Sunday, it's about strategy, risk, and offensive identity. Without Purdy, the gears shift. And it's no coincidence Shanahan kept that suspense alive until the final moments. Is it just mind games, or is the injury more concerning than it seems? Reality is Purdy practiced in a limited fashion this week. That already forces Arizona's defense to waste prep time, accounting for 2 QB styles. But it also screams caution. A toe issue might sound minor, but for a quarterback whose mobility is central, any limitation becomes a bullseye. Purdy thrives by extending plays, escaping pressure, improvising. Stripping that from the package is like sending a boxer to the ring without a jab. That's why Shanahan floats an emergency backup role. Starting him now would be like rolling out a fighter who can't set his feet. On the other hand, enter Mac Jones, a name that until recently drew skepticism, but against the Saints he showed he can execute the playbook with discipline. Jones isn't as mobile as Purdy, but he's precise on short and intermediate routes, and when he gets it out quick, the offense hums. The issue last week was holding the ball too long at times, inviting sacks and even a fumble that nearly turned disastrous. That must change immediately. Faster tempo, quicker decisions, pocket protection. If Jones delivers that, the machine runs. There's also a strategic layer that shows how meticulous Shanahan is. By keeping the question open to the end, he forced Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinals head coach, to prep 2 game plans. If Purdy played, the defense would have to deal with bootlegs, rollouts, and out-of-structure throws. With Jones, the attack is more predictable, but demands constant pressure to force mistakes. In the end, San Francisco walks in with a mental edge. Any extra hour the rivals spent on Purdy was wasted. But the bigger picture goes beyond the immediate matchup. If Purdy is rushed back and aggravates the injury, the ripple effect could be brutal over the next months. A slate with Jaguars, Rams, and Seahawks won't forgive improvisation. Better to lose a little margin now and restore solidity later than to risk the starter coming in limited and becoming a sitting duck. That read isn't just medical, it's season-wide. Fans, of course, split. Some demand Purdy at any cost, reminding that every NFC West win can decide January home field. Others preach patience, recalling we've seen this movie. Quarterbacks pushed back too soon rarely return the same. The line between courage and recklessness is thin, and no one knows it better than Shanahan. And there's a detail few say out loud but echoes in the halls: the arrival of Adrian Martinez. He doesn't own the playbook yet, but his presence changes the hierarchy. Purdy can be active purely as insurance, with no obligation to play. That gives the team minimal depth and avoids unnecessary exposure. That's roster engineering at work. In the end, the message is clear. Sunday isn't about Purdy, it's about Jones proving he can hold the line. If he shows consistency, the team buys time to get its starter right without panic. If he falters, the controversy grows, and every medical decision will be framed as a strategic mistake. For now, the choice is prudent, and for those craving Purdy under the bright lights at the home opener, painfully so. Because let's be honest, a 49ers-Cardinals showdown with Purdy versus Murray would feel like an early final. But maybe, right now, the bigger win is protecting the future. Sometimes a quiet bet becomes a headline sooner than expected. 2 games were enough for Bryce Huff to flip doubt into certainty. This guy was born to play in San Francisco. The lightning-quick sack against the Saints, clocked at a ridiculous 2.44 seconds, wasn't just a stat. It proved that the explosion wasted in Philly now has the right stage, and if Nick Bosa is the established terror, Huff looks like that baseball closer, called in to end the game with controlled violence. The question echoing now is, are we seeing a historic duo, or a meteor that could fade as fast as it flashed? The move for Huff is still a talking point. Philadelphia invested heavily 3 years and north of $50 million, but couldn't fit him in Vic Fangio's scheme, result in elite talent traded for a conditional 5th. To many, that was a gift to John Lynch, and to Huff it was a reunion with the coach who first knew how to deploy him, Robert Sile. If he flashed in New York and San Francisco, the machine is perfect. 4-man front, aggressive rotation, crystal clear responsibility, hunt the quarterback. Against the Saints, he posted 5 pressures, second only to Bosa, and sealed the game on the final drive. What impresses most isn't just the speed, but how he converts acceleration into power. Rattler felt the clean pop, but the offensive line was already collapsing before contact. That ability to turn speed into bull rush makes Huff nearly unguardable in obvious passing situations. Double Bosa and Huff punishes. Ignore Huff and the pocket implodes. It's a dilemma no offensive coordinator wants. Saleh's words poured gasoline on the fire. Comparing Huff to names like Micah Parsons and even placing him alongside Bosa is both a vote of confidence and a provocation to the rest of the league. Because if that level of respect is validated by production, the 49ers will have what very few teams possess. 2 elite monsters, side by side. Pressure that once needed blitz can become standard with 4, freeing linebackers in the secondary to play even more aggressively. The locker room has bought in. Players already call Huff the perfect complement. There's no jealousy. The culture here values production, and there's plenty. In just 2 weeks, Huff has changed how opponents distribute their protection. Running backs have to chip, tight ends get stuck helping, and that opens space for the entire defense to shine. No wonder the fans fall fast. Watching someone close a game with clean, decisive violence turns Levi's Stadium into a cauldron. Like every meteoric rise, there's a shadow, consistency. In New York, he had a 10-sack season, but many chalked it up to rotation or surprise. In Philly, he was miscast. Now in San Francisco, expectations are star level. Sustaining this week after week is the real challenge. If he does, Huff won't just be Bosa's sidekick. He'll be a centerpiece of one of the most feared pass rush duos of the last decade. The beauty here is the low risk involved. Lynch paid little, trusted Saleh, and landed a talent with immediate January impact potential. For a team dreaming of a Super Bowl, these are the moves that separate contenders from champions. The 49ers defense was already top 5. With Huff exploding, it can become a wall. Now the inevitable question for fans, did we just witness the birth of a new red and gold idol, or is it still too early to crown Huff the new Bosa? One thing's certain, if the opening chapters are any indication, this story is headed toward rival quarterbacks gasping for air. In the middle of a 2-0 start that raises the bar, we watched pieces shift. The chance to add a vertical wideout to unlock play action. The defense shielding a young corner while tuning his alignment. The prudence of resting Purdy and demanding quick execution from Mac Jones. And a pass rusher already closing games. It's a script of maturity and ambition. Now I want to hear you. Is it time to attack the market for speed? Do you trust Renardo's growth? Can Mac hold it down? Is Huff already a centerpiece? Drop a comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's debate below. And smash that like to boost the channel.